Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged Show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So, whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy and rewarding. First, you get to be a guest on this show. This is a fantastic opportunity for brand recognition as you share your story with our engaged listeners.
And Frank and I are now offering Q&A Mastermind monthly sessions. And these are not just informative experiences, but we actually help with your business on strategic insights and provide a supportive group setting.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we? And if you're looking to drive targeted lead generation, consider sponsoring our show. We offer multiple tiers and customizable options to fit your marketing needs perfectly.
We have had over 350 guests, and they have been able to brand themselves and share all the goodness that they are doing here in community.
And it's not just about numbers. Our approach opens up a space for vulnerability, helping our guests genuinely connect with audiences. This authentic interaction is a powerful catalyst for community and business growth. Take, for example, we have partners here at Be Encouraged, and since getting involved with our platform, they've seen a staggering 900% growth in just 7 months here in the Springs.
So if you're ready to make a significant impact, join us today at BeEncouraged.net.
And let's make the world a more hopeful and connected place, one story at a time. We are currently at Co-Harbor, our studio sponsor, right?
So beautiful.
Oh, what a wonderful
Love it.
place. We get such great feedback about them and what they're doing. What's so great about Co-Harbor?
Yes. So the owner, Jeremiah Callahan's just phenomenal. His attention to detail from the sound, from the aesthetics, he even got me a little microphone holder for our live Instagrams, Frank. I mean, just the attention to detail to service the business owners here who work out of here is phenomenal.
And what you always feel welcomed here. You always feel a part of this community. It's the most welcoming place that I've ever engaged. And we have some amazing people that work out of here as well.
We do. And they actually have a greeting host, which is incredible during their peak hours.
What an idea, right?
Yes, but some of the people working out of here, you just want to be here just to say hi to them, like Chantel Bridges.
Ooh, and Melinda Joy Mingo.
Yes.
And our friend Tom
Carlson.
Yes, indeed. Wonderful people. And Lisa and I also engaged their facility in Denver called Co-working, which is a fantastic facility.
Gorgeous, yes. And we have to do a huge shout out for Alan Briggs.
Yes.
He is our right-hand man, especially in this podcast studio. Mm-hmm. He has given us great wisdom and insight on how to use all the bougie stuff that they have in here.
The bougie stuff. Yeah.
It is. It's high end.
It is. It's wonderful. We're so blessed to be able to be here at Co-Harbor. And you need to come in and do a 14-day free trial of this facility. Lisa, tell them a little bit about some of the great things that Co-Harbor offers.
Yes. Well, their membership starts at $25 on up, and that gets them 24/7 access to a beautiful, gorgeous space. And not only that, Frank, you know what they have?
What?
Amazing pour-over coffee, which all of my friends love, and I love the tea. They have hot tea, and they have iced coffee, and they have sparkling water, all the things. It's so beautiful here, so come and check them out.
Well, come on down and join us at Corporate and Tech Center Drive. Beautiful location over here. You can't miss us. We're sponsored by the great Joshua Geary with Crescio. And Joshua just won Hispanic Rising Professional of the Year. Yay! Hey, he's been with us so long, and he is really produces and helps us with this show.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Crescio.
Yes, so Crescio, they offer pay what you can consultations, and they specialize in not only just Chat GPT, but they will work with your business to help you get sustainable and then leave and leave you successful. Their goal is not to stay with you forever. Their goal is to keep you moving with excellence.
Indeed. And AI is the rage right now. Joshua is an expert in AI, and he and his team can help you navigate the sometimes scary road of AI and what's happening, and deliver work with you that you won't have to worry about all the myths about AI. They know how it works for you. And what I do love, Lisa, about Crescio is the pay what you can consultations to the
Absolutely.
underserved southeast sector of our city, reaching out and trying to help people.
Absolutely. So check them out at Crescio.com.
Indeed. We're sponsored by Brandon Kurt from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally.
Me too.
We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gava?
Gava. And she's a beautiful artist. And yes, they have an amazing farm as well.
They do. And he loves Star Wars. So if you're into that scene, give Brandon a call. He loves Star Wars, all things Star Wars-y.
Yes,
Yeah.
not only that, but he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town. They do have the strongest vacuums in Colorado,
Indeed.
which will help you get amazing air quality for your home.
Indeed. They find all kinds of stuff in our vent systems. They've done my house as well, and so many of my friends.
Yeah.
They really are the cream of the crop when it comes to duct cleaning.
They are.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So make sure to look them up because they are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Yes, they are.
We are sponsored by the lovely, incredible Karen Butcher with Westco Insurance.
Yes, Karen is an amazing insurance agent doing home, casualty, all these different types of insurance. And here's the deal. She has some of the same customers that she had when she started 24 years ago. They're still engaging her this many years later, which means she has to have some incredible customer service and some attentive skills. Right?
To include me.
And me.
She's helped me a lot over the years.
She's
So we
incredible.
really appreciate Karen Butcher and all the wisdom and savviness that she has in the insurance industry. So check her out, Karen Butcher, Westco Insurance.
Please. Yeah, welcome to the Be Encouraged show with Frank.
And Lisa.
We're so glad that you join us on Mondays and align with us in our goal of infusing hope and encouragement throughout the world.
That's right. We are now offering 2 free guests on our show every single Monday from 11 to 12 or 12 to 1 Mountain Standard Time. But we also have an amazing new venture that we've started this year, Frank.
Indeed. We have the free hug campaign that's starting that Lisa and I are going to go out in community, offer free hugs. Hugs have medicinal value that's really, really strong, and we want to use that to help humans.
Absolutely. And we are also going around the world on live Instagrams. So our ask of you is, if you know of any amazing business owners out in other countries or across the nation, please introduce them to us at lisa@beencouraged.net.
Yeah, make sure that you email her. Yes, and she'll get it done for us, and we'll make sure that we highlight your business. You know, really the value of this is exposure. We get the opportunity to expose your business to our growing audience and get so that you can be seen and people can engage your business.
And we do offer sponsorship levels starting at $50 on up. So depending on how much marketing you have in your budget, we would love to help you get maximum exposure both on our website as well as our show.
Indeed. We love humans here at the Be Encouraged show. And the reason we exist is to create value for you.
The real value of sponsoring our show is joining us on our mission to infuse hope and encouragement throughout the world.
Aligning missional values is very important to us, and we are looking for businesses that align with us and our values and what we're trying to give out to the world.
Yes, this is about social impact, Frank.
Indeed. We know how important that is in this community and around the world. So join us in our mission to create social impact for your business. Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So, whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy and rewarding. First, you get to be a guest on this show. This is a fantastic opportunity for brand recognition as you share your story with our engaged listeners.
And Frank and I are now offering Q&A Mastermind monthly sessions. And these are not just informative experiences, but we actually help with your business on strategic insights and provide a supportive group setting.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we? And if you're looking to drive targeted lead generation, consider sponsoring our show. We offer multiple tiers and customizable options to fit your marketing needs perfectly.
We have had over 350 guests, and they have been able to brand themselves and share all the goodness that they are doing here in community.
And it's not just about numbers. Our approach opens up a space for vulnerability, helping our guests genuinely connect with audiences. This authentic interaction is a powerful catalyst for community and business growth. Take, for example, we have partners here at Be Encouraged, and since getting involved with our platform, they've seen a staggering 900% growth in just 7 months here in the Springs.
So if you're ready to make a significant impact, join us today at beencouraged.net.
And let's make the world a more hopeful and connected place, one story at a time. We are currently at Cole Harbor, our studio sponsor, right?
So beautiful.
Oh, what a
Love
wonderful
it.
place. We get such great feedback about them and what they're doing. What's so great about Cole Harbor?
Yes. So the owner, Jeremiah Callahan's just phenomenal. His attention to detail from the sound, from the aesthetics, he even got me a little microphone holder for our live Instagrams, Frank. I mean, just the attention to detail to service the business owners here who work out of here is phenomenal.
And what you always feel welcomed here. You always feel a part of this community. It's the most welcoming place that I've ever engaged. And we have some amazing people that work out of here as well.
We do. And they actually have a greeting host, which is incredible during their peak hours.
What an idea, right?
Yes, but some of the people working out of here, you just want to be here just to say hi to them, like Chantel Bridges.
Ooh, and Melinda Joy Mingo.
Yes.
And our friend Tom
Carlson.
Yes, indeed. Wonderful people. And Lisa and I also engaged their facility in Denver called Co-working, which is a fantastic facility.
Gorgeous. Yes. And we have to do a huge shout out for Alan Briggs.
Yes.
He is our right-hand man, especially in this podcast studio. He has given us great wisdom and insight on how to use all the bougie stuff that they have in here.
The bougie stuff. Yeah.
It is. It's high end.
It is. It's wonderful. We're so blessed to be able to be here at Cole Harbor. And you need to come in and do a 14-day free trial of this facility. Lisa, tell them a little bit about some of the great things that Cole Harbor offers.
Yes. Well, their membership starts at $25 on up, and that gets them 24/7 access to a beautiful, gorgeous space. And not only that, Frank, you know what they have?
What?
Amazing pour-over coffee, which all of my friends love, and I love the tea. They have hot tea, and they have iced coffee, and they have sparkling water, all the things. It's so beautiful here, so come and check them out.
Well, come on down and join us at Corporate and Tech Center Drive. Beautiful location over here. You can't miss us. We're sponsored by the great Joshua Geary with Crescio. And Joshua just won Hispanic Rising Professional of the Year. Yay! He's been with us so long, and he really produces and helps us with this show.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Crescio.
Yes, so Crescio, they offer pay what you can consultations, and they specialize in not only just ChatGPT, but they will work with your business to help you get sustainable and then leave and leave you successful. Their goal is not to stay with you forever. Their goal is to keep you moving with excellence.
Indeed. And AI is the rage right now. Joshua is an expert in AI, and he and his team can help you navigate the sometimes scary road of AI and what's happening, and deliver work with you that you won't have to worry about all the myths about AI. They know how it works for you. And what I do love, Lisa, about Crescio is the pay what you can consultations to the underserved southeast sector of our city, reaching out and trying to help people.
Absolutely. So check them out at Crescio.com.
Indeed. We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duct.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, and his 3 children are just incredible. I know them personally.
Me too.
We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gava.
And she's a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well.
They do. And he loves Star Wars. So if you're into that scene, give Brandon a call. He loves Star Wars, all things Star Wars-y.
Yes,
Yeah.
not only that, but he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town. They do have the strongest vacuums in Colorado,
Indeed.
which will help you get amazing air quality for your home.
Indeed. They find all kinds of stuff in our vent systems. They've done my house as well, and so many of my friends.
Yeah.
They really are the cream of the crop when it comes to duct cleaning.
They are.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So make sure to look them up because they are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Yes, they are.
We are sponsored by the lovely, incredible Karen Butcher with Westco Insurance.
Yes, Karen is an amazing insurance agent doing home, casualty, all these different types of insurance. And here's the deal. She has some of the same customers that she had when she started 24 years ago. They're still... Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. He just looks at me. Welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. I am Lisa Sinnott, and this is
Frank Sinclair.
We provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs community. And we're joining you live from Colorado Springs with some great guests.
Great.
One of them is late, and he will slip in a minute, and we will all tease him. But for now, if you want to join us internationally, please go to our website and select International via Instagram to join us live from anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And today's show is sponsored by Crescio, who offers to help entrepreneurs with pay what you can consultations to understand AI agents and use them to increase your sales and lower your overhead. Visit Crescio.com to learn more and check out the flyers that we have provided for you guys. So please take those with you because Crescio rocks. And Joe, you know that.
Yes. He's already using them.
Yeah, so today, Lisa, who do we have?
All right, so we have Mr. Presidente himself, Mr. Joe Aldaz, President of Colorado Springs Hispanic Business Council Chamber. Joe is a seasoned executive leader with a passion of empowering veterans and military families. He has spent over 15 years revitalizing and launching programs in the nonprofit, education, and veteran support sectors with expertise in program development, fundraising, and organizational strategies. He has generated over $6.8 million in resources while driving impactful change through leadership, diversity initiatives, and military transition programs.
Welcome, Joe.
Thank you for having me today.
We're so glad to have you here. And just for total transparency, I am on Joe's board of directors as well at the Hispanic Chamber, and having more fun than a black guy on the Hispanic Chamber should be able to have. Right?
Right.
Just thought I'd throw that in for free.
That's all right.
Yeah, so Joe, tell us a little bit about Joe, Joe, you've been in Colorado Springs for quite a while. You're a neighboring state, New Mexico,
Right.
so you're from there.
Right.
That's like Lisa's husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed. So give us a little bit about the background of Joe Aldaz.
Well, I was born and raised in a small town in New Mexico, Raton, New Mexico, just down the road on I-25. My father was a 37-year educator in New Mexico.
Oh, my.
And
What did he teach?
he was an American history teacher and basketball coach and track coach.
Did he coach for his home?
He was an assistant coach there for several years.
So then they the ones that was scoring like 120 points a game?
No, I don't think they were.
That wasn't Raton.
That was a school in the eastern portion of the state. It was Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hobbs, okay.
That was your competitors.
Running and gunning.
So I received an appointment to the Air Force Academy in 1979, graduated in 1983, and spent a 21-year career in the Air Force. My main career was the space operations field. My last assignment was probably the funnest and probably most impactful assignment. I was the director of athletics and women's basketball coach at the Air Force Academy Prep School from 1999 to 2004 until I retired. Ironically, go Eagles. Sorry, Chiefs, but I was hoping the Eagles would win because when I was the director of athletics at the prep school, one of my assistant head coaches for football there was Jamal Singleton, and he is the running backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So,
Right on.
so I'm glad that he can carry around a big diamond-studded Super Bowl ring. So, that kind of just tells you how small the world is, and and I'm glad that he's elevated himself to that caliber of a coach and having that great running back that he was able to coach, Saquon Barkley. So
What a back. Yeah, we interviewed a ex-NFL player this morning on our Instagram Live.
okay,
Yeah.
Denver Broncos guy.
yeah, okay.
What did he say? He did it for about a year and a half, I think.
Yeah, he was 6'4", 320 offensive lineman.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So he's still a real young guy and doing some great work in high schools and those kind of things today. Yeah. So education really is what you love.
well, when I retired, obviously the pathway for my main career was the defense contracting industry. But after a year and a half, and they thankfully laid me off.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to navigate a different path outside of that, world of space and defense contracting. And I've just navigated my way to the nonprofit education sector, veteran support services, and that's kind of where I found my home, since probably 2006. So.
Well, and your beautiful bride, Miss Tammy, she's
Yes.
also in the education scene as well, right?
She retired in 2019. She was a health paraprofessional at an elementary school for 20 years. So
That's awesome.
she was kind of like the school nurse, taking care of the kids, and retired. So she was tied to that education world, and
It runs in the family.
right. So she was my high school sweetheart. So we've known each other for 45 years, married for 41, something like that.
And you still look happy together.
Well,
I've
yeah, I think-
witnessed it.
Well, I hope she's happy with me. So,
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
what's the saying? A happy wife is a happy life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, vice versa too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't rhyme
Yeah,
Right.
for a
true.
husband.
So, Joe, tell us a little bit about the chamber, what's going on. You guys have
Sure.
some exciting things in 2025.
Yeah, we're rolling out a lot of great programming and events this year. Kind of one of the signature events this year is we were selected by the Latina Style Business Magazine to be one of 4 cities to host a one-day conference called the Latina Style Business Series. We'll host that on August 22nd. It's designed to empower Latina entrepreneurs with different resources and information to continue to build their business. It's not limited to Latina entrepreneurs, but that's the focus for that day. It's going to be format's going to be panel discussions on how you access capital, wellness, things like that to to help these entrepreneurs. So we're very excited about it. And having a national event in Colorado Springs, I think, speaks volumes on the work that our chamber is able to do, and the buy-in that Latina Style magazine had when we presented our business case to them, and it's here. So we just have to get the entrepreneurs to register. It's a free event, so there's no cost other than showing up, and
Wow.
So we'll have a lot of vendors there as well. That's going to be free as well. So it's
Free vendor tables as
free
well?
vendor tables.
Oh, my.
So it's going to be an exciting event. So register soon. I've sent some information out on the exhibit booths as well. So earlier the better, because there's only going to be about spaces for up to about 25 vendors. So we want to make sure people are aware and they take advantage of this opportunity here in Colorado Springs. Obviously have our signature event, La Vida.
La vida.
La vida.
We have not missed it. I've never missed one.
That'll be it's our 5th year, so we're looking to have another exciting time. We've contracted our entertainment. Our feature band will be a group called Santa Rios.
Ooh.
They are a Santana tribute band.
Are they really?
That's gonna be good.
So they will be playing a full set for about an hour and a half of Santana music, and then we are our second performer is going to be a group called Sangre Joven. They're out of Las Vegas, New Mexico, and they're going to be in that genre of the rancheras, cumbias, the dance type music. So looking forward to having them as well. So
Awesome.
we're excited to continue to host that event for our members in our community. And we hope it continues to grow and be that signature event in the summer that our community wants to attend.
I look forward to it every year.
Isn't it incredible?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
my.
amazing.
Thank
We
you.
have a blast. The Be Encouraged team, we'll be there.
And then, we made an intentional shift, several years ago, not to do an annual gala dinner to just promote the Hispanic Chamber, but we are doing a dinner. This last year, we hosted our first Latino Veterans Profiles and Valor Awards dinner, where we recognized 4 Latino veterans. We're hosting it again this year, and we booked our speaker. I think he's going to send a really great message tied in with a little bit of comedy.
Oh, good.
His name is Jose Sardui. He's an Air Force Academy graduate, an aviator in the Air Force Reserves, a lieutenant colonel, and he, on a side gig, he does comedy. So,
For real?
Wonderful.
so I was able to see
We
him.
need some comedy,
Yes.
brother.
Well, we went to that last one. Even though it was a snowy, cold night, we still showed up. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
That was really a good event.
I saw him at the National Character Leadership Symposium last year.
Oh.
He was invited to speak, so connected with him, and he will be our guest speaker. So
Right on.
he is a Cuban immigrant, so he ties in a lot of that being a Cuban immigrant into his comedy and
Yeah.
becoming a cadet, and pretty great message on tying comedy into his journey as an immigrant to the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Adelante.
Adelante Leadership Institute, we're in our 3rd cohort.
Yeah.
Thanks to Frank, who always steps up to support for us, for our fellows. We're into our 3rd session in February, and now we can give Diego Lujan a hard time.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Diego.
I expect you to give me a hard time.
Hello. Yes, our
So-
listeners have been anticipating you.
So, yeah, sorry guys, I apologize.
They didn't know who the who was that was late.
Zero excuses. Zero excuses. Is this
Well,
mine?
let me introduce you real quick.
Yes.
So this is Diego Lujan, a driven entrepreneur scaling Alphalete Plumbing, drain, heating, air, and excavation to a $100 million plus company. He is committed to creating opportunities and building a business where everyone wins. With over 15 years of experience in plumbing and mechanical systems, he also founded Plumb-Tech Trade School to train the next generation of skilled professionals here in Colorado Springs.
Indeed.
Welcome, Diego.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here. Joe.
He's glad you're here. We were just drilling him.
Yeah. No excuses. No excuses.
No
So,
problem, my friend. We're just glad you're able to make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
safe.
yeah. I'm happy
Welcome.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
Yeah, so
a
give us,
pleasure.
tell us a little bit about the incredible Diego Lujan.
Well,
Who are you?
First and foremost, I'm a father of 5 beautiful babies, beautiful wife at home, who I have to say does majority of the work when it comes to taking care of our kids, which is the hardest job in the world.
Oh,
doubt.
yes.
While I'm able to go out and build the empire that I embarked on to build, not just for my family, but for the community in a whole. You know, I have perseverance, grit, determination, and what I believe, what I speak into existence will happen with hard work and the proper education and the proper team, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm a team-driven individual, and I believe that nothing can be built without a team.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So,
Yeah, what is it? And you know that you are. I've known you a long time,
Yeah.
my brother. So
through some hard times.
Through some hard
Very hard
times.
times.
Yeah, but you've leveraged that. You know,
Yeah.
that's what builds on what we become, right?
100%.
What in the world, Alphalete? These people looking at us now, going, what is that name about?
Right. You know, the name Alphalete, it has a different meaning than what it meant when I first started the business, right? Because I was a 26-year-old kid, man, with no knowledge in business, right? So the name back then meant something a lot different than what it means today.
What did it mean back then?
Back then, it was just alpha-driven, you know, elite. We're the elite. Exactly, you know, lack of experience. But we grew into that name. And, you know, for those of you that don't know, the name Alphalete is branded with a lion, right? And the lion is looking back because it's bringing followers with them, you know? It's building the next generation of leaders. And the name Alphalete really symbolizes determination, perseverance, and grit. And we bring that to every client, customer's project, you know, is that anybody that knows the home service business and plumbing and heating, there's always challenges involved.
Yes.
And through those challenges, we have that perseverance, that grit, that determination to solve those problems for our clients.
Yes.
You know, so that's the name. That's what the name symbolizes today, and as well as our branding, you know.
Yeah,
so.
well, your give back for the next generation is just phenomenal.
Oh, I love it.
mean, when
Just,
you came up with that years ago, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
So,
were?
Yeah, I was. Because no one was doing it in town.
Right.
I mean, so what birthed that? Was it just a business need that you saw?
Exactly. You know, I being in the trades, I'm a tradesman by heart.
Yeah.
That's where I come from. I
Right.
finally graduated to a business owner. So
That's no
where
joke.
Yeah.
where that came from is that so many business owners in the plumbing and heating industries, just in the trades in general, were always complaining about, oh, I can't find help. There's no good help. You know, you've heard of that time and time again. And you know, being the person that I am, I said, you know what, I'm going to step up and I'm going to help build the next generation of leaders. And that is really my mission, you know. And what it's done for me, not just at the local level, I'm getting ready to go out to a company in Atlanta, Georgia, and teach 80 plumbers some continued education. So, you know, I've traveled the United
Blow it
States and done that, you know. So that's my mission, is to give back to my community, you know. And
I
I've
love
been
that.
gone from this community for the last 3 years. People don't realize that, but now we're back.
I realize it because I didn't see you.
Yeah.
Right?
I know the last conversation we had, you were expanding out.
Yeah.
So, and you got some great contracts outside of Colorado, and
Yeah.
and you're building a name nationally.
Yeah.
And
Which is incredible. It's like your son,
Yeah.
Randy,
Yeah.
with the roofing university, or what was that he did? The
Yeah.
big education seminar?
The Roofing Academy.
Yeah, the roofing academy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're very similar to his
Yeah.
mindset with all of that.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just giving back. It's my way to give back to the,
It's amazing.
the next tradesman and really do it with style, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a-
you're cool.
Yeah, that's how you roll. That's why Joe had you on. Out of
Yeah.
all the people
people. He chose you.
In his
No,
universe.
it's just what I'm passionate about, and correlates into building a business where everybody wins.
Yeah.
That's
It
our
is.
clients, our team members, the business, everybody that's involved with our brand we want them to win.
Want to win.
Yeah.
Right on. Let me ask Joe this question,
Yeah.
Lisa. As you look at Hispanic culture in Colorado Springs specifically, because that's what we're talking about, right? Here on the Front Range, what are the positives you see in culture, and what are some of the challenges you see in reaching Hispanic business culture?
That's a loaded question.
Yes.
I wanted to load up.
That's why he's asking.
I think, what I see in our community is, we're a growing demographic. It's predicted by 2040 will be 40% of the population here. We're around 20%. So I think that's a positive, because what I think it develops, it's going to develop the leaders in our community. It's going to develop that small business ecosystem, because that culture is about work ethic, and they're very entrepreneurial. If you look at the growth, as an example, in Latina entrepreneurs, they were $1.3 trillion GDP in 2021
Nationally?
nationally.
1.3
trillion.
Wow.
So
Wow.
when that then flows down to our community of entrepreneurs, and I think that's the reason that we were able to secure the Latina Style Business Series. So I see that as a positive. I also just see, being able to do a signature event like we do, La Vida, just promotes our culture. So it introduces an audience to, what our culture is about and what our history is about. And then the challenges are always trying to bring our different Latino groups together to have more of a stronger unified voice here in the community. I think a lot of times our culture struggles with what I call the crabs in the bucket syndrome. We're, gentlemen like Diego and I are trying to get out of that bucket and lift others up, where there is portions of our community and in any community that are say, hey, you need to stay in the bucket with us, and I don't think that's a good recipe for success of our culture. One of the things that I'm also have advocated, I think it is a positive. I don't know why we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month for 30 days during the year. When
Or Black History
or
Month.
Black History Month. I don't think there should be any of those months anymore, because you're relegating Chicanos and Latinos to 1 month during the year, when we're making impact 365 days out of the year, and we're part of American history. So it just seems like there's a focus of our media and our communities a lot of time, hey, we need to support the Identity Chamber during Hispanic Heritage Month, when they could be supporting us throughout the year.
All through the year.
And then the other thing I think that really hurts a lot of our communities, and you see it on the media and how everything is spinned, and the narratives is, we talk about race a lot. And I think the more we talk about it, the more our our country becomes polarized. I think when we stop talking about race, things will start to improve.
Yes.
That shouldn't be a topic of discussion anytime you see a person of color.
I am totally on board
Yeah.
there. What was his name? What's the old actor's name? Black actor.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
From last night?
Yeah, not just from
Oh.
last night. No, he said this before.
Oh.
He said it a
if
long
you
time
want to
ago.
end racism,
Yeah.
stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of hear his message. I mean,
I do too.
we continue to talk about that, and it doesn't just promote America.
No, it doesn't.
We are a country of immigrants.
We are.
Right.
Exactly.
So-
Can I add to what you
Sure.
said? The biggest thing, like when I first started in business, grew up in the streets, tattoos, brown skin. I always tried to be somebody that I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until I started getting into business,
Yep.
what I realized is what matters is right here and right here. You know what I mean? And the way you treat people. It
Yes.
doesn't matter your color of skin.
Yeah.
You have the same opportunity as the next man. It's just
Absolutely.
if you're willing to have the mindset and the determination to
Right.
go after it.
And you're modeling it.
I
Yeah,
am.
you are.
I am. Thank you. I'm the poster boy.
Well,
Nah.
And he's currently in our Adelante Leadership Institute. So
Yeah.
he's going to continue to develop as a leader and make impact.
Wonderful.
Because, I mean, I'm trying to, ride off into the sunset in a few years and have other younger individuals carrying on our legacy of leadership here because it's important.
It
Our
is.
demographic is changing here in Colorado Springs, so we need to plan to look like what we are going to look like in the future. And we, as a culture, have earned the right to sit at the tables in boardrooms. It's not about, we've earned that right, and we have influence, and we're developing power in this country. When you look at the largest demographic that's growing is the Latino population,
By far.
Yeah.
and it's the fifth largest GDP in the world, in our country. It's
Yeah.
$3.6 trillion. So people need to to take notice that we're going to make impact, and that's what we're striving to do here in our community. And
Well, I love, Joe, how you modeled just with your board alone,
yes.
right? Do you want to share it with our listeners
Sure.
how you've created
You know,
your
I've
board?
I've been a big advocate on diversity and inclusion. I kind of stray away from the equity piece because I think a lot of organizations kind of sabotage the intent of DEI with the equity. I'm going to put a black individual, an Asian, or an Hispanic in this position because of their color,
Yeah.
not because they are qualified. We want equal opportunity based on merit.
Merit.
Diego is getting
Yes.
contracts and jobs based on his merit and the qualifications they are bringing to customers. So
Yeah.
I think so. But the diversity piece, we walk the talk. I've said that boards need to start to look like our community.
Yeah.
If you look at our board, we have military veterans, Latina entrepreneurs, a black gentleman, Frank Sinclair.
Where's he at?
We have a retired two-star general, Latina, on our board.
First and
You know,
only.
we have
two-star.
we have white gentlemen on our board as well, but that's the fabric of our community.
Yep.
So we should look
Exactly.
like that
Love
because
that.
everybody brings a different perspective through the lens that they see the world, and that brings very great discussion because their values may be different, and the upbringing and the life that each of our board members has lived is different. So it creates robust conversation in our boardroom. But then at the end of the day, we're a team that's moving forward to better our community, not only for Hispanic and multicultural businesses, but for the entire
everybody.
small business ecosystem here.
That's so
Love it.
great.
Yeah.
I wish all the chambers did that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, it's healthy.
Yeah, well, someone has to be the forerunner.
Joe's a visionary.
Yeah, and I'm glad to run with the forerunner, right? So, Diego, I have had the honor. I didn't know you had 5 kids. Is that a new one?
3 new since last time.
Since
Yeah.
I
We've been busy.
Diego, I'm home.
Yeah.
The good Lord has blessed me and my wife. So, one of them got to take care of me and my wife when we get older. So,
There we
Yeah.
go.
one of them got to be a millionaire. So,
Randy Ross, and you kind of build your business culture on this. Randy Ross wrote a book called Relationomics, right? And it's really the idea that relationships drive business
They do.
success, right?
They do.
So tell our audience how you incorporate Relationomics into Alphalete.
yeah, this is something that I strive myself. So, for those of you who don't know, I've been spending the last 3 years building our business nationally. We've had some national contracts with Fortune 500 companies. I can tell you this right now. We can go to almost every major city, call a business owner, and have dinner with them in every city that we go to. So that goes into relationship economics.
Yeah, how do
right?
you do
Now,
that? Break it down.
Instagram, social media, LinkedIn, not being afraid to be myself, not being afraid to reach out to people.
Yeah.
And just building a brand of not being afraid to express who I am online, you know, as a young professional. And I have made so many robust connections, and it ain't about the money to me.
Yeah.
It's about building that relationship, because someday this person might need me or I might need them. And I have built really good relationships based off of that, you know.
So how do you do that? Like, for our listeners' sake, put it in layman's terms. Like, how do you not be spammy, but begin to forge relationships with complete strangers on social?
My biggest thing is focus on your craft. My craft being the plumbing and heating industry.
Yep.
Focus on what you do with that first, as far as for me, what I'm talking about. Then you reach out to those professionals within that industry and you make a connection. Hey, I'm going to be in your city. I would love to stop by. I do a lot of shop visits, so I'll go to companies that are doing $100 million a year.
Okay.
And I'll go visit their shops. I'll spend time with the owners or their managers, and just building those relationships and really trading secrets amongst the trades and business owners to see how we can help Alphalete grow. So that's how I've been able to do that. And not only that, business to business, right?
Yeah.
So we do work in a lot of these other states for those Fortune 500 companies. We need subcontractors.
Yes.
We can't do it all ourselves.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So actually making money together strengthens the business community, and I've done that across the United States for 3 years.
Nice.
But now I'm back home. I'm excited to be home.
Yeah.
We're excited to have
And
you.
I'm excited to
Welcome
build the
home.
business back home. So, you know.
Indeed.
Yeah, but yeah, I believe in exactly that.
So our community here, which is very diverse, we got, look at Lisa and I. Right, doing the
Very
show
diverse.
together. Right?
Very diverse.
Yeah. Better
good.
together, right?
Yes.
So we do. Joe, maybe you can help our community understand it. Going, I would love to be able to integrate my business into the Hispanic community. How do I make those conversations? What's some landmines that I might step on that might hurt my ability to be able to connect with the Hispanic community?
Well, I mean,
They don't know.
I think, not every Hispanic business is a Spanish-speaking business here. So I think a lot of times, that maybe will limit, let's say, an American-led business that speaks predominantly English, because they say, well, how do I penetrate that market? Well, it's easy to penetrate that market because many of those that are predominantly Spanish speakers do speak English. And I think it's, having the courage to take the next step to understand their culture, because the values may be a little bit different, and figuring out what those synergies are between the services that you provide and the services that they provide, that make that connection. And the second thing is there's a huge Chicano culture here.
Is there a difference?
There is I think
So
there is
tell
a
us what
difference.
that is. 'Cause
I see two sectors in the business market in the Hispanic community. There's the immigrant businesses who've been here 5, 10, 15 years. They're very entrepreneurial. They're Spanish speakers predominantly. They've come from Mexico, Latin America, and they're running businesses, predominantly have a Spanish-speaking clientele. And many of them come over to our country and they just start a business. Well, what we've been doing with the Hispanic Chamber is we run a workshop called Juntos Somos Más Fuerte, which is a workshop that helps these Spanish-speaking businesses understand what business compliance means. You need to have a EIN. If you have employees, you should have workman's compensation insurance. All of those things that if you have them in place, down the road, you're not going to be liable for anything to come into any legal battles, that could crop up. The second sector is the Chicano market. The Chicano
That'd be
market.
I.
The
That'd be
Chicano,
you?
yeah, the Chicano market. Families have been here for, generations, decades here. They've migrated from the San Luis Valley to Pueblo and Colorado Springs. They've run a business. They've retired, but they have children like Diego, who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, who were raised in their families during those times, especially in the 60s and 70s. You're going to be raised to speak English. Because for you to be successful and not to be, maybe discriminated against, you have to know English. Whereas we've evolved now, it probably be a good idea if you learn both English and Spanish now. But they understand how to build business the American way because they were born and raised here. So they saw their parents.
Is there any conflict between the two? Are they siloed or?
I haven't seen it. Maybe it is, but I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Diego, have you seen it? You look like you have an opinion.
To add to the no Spanish speaking, right? I understand it. I can't speak it fluently, right? So it has been a detrimental to my development within the Hispanic community, right? They call us no sabo kids, meaning speak the language.
Yeah.
But we were raised to learn English because it was frowned upon speaking Spanish in school when I grew up, right? Because my family has been in Colorado for 10 generations.
Oh my!
So we, this is where we're from.
Exactly.
And so, no. It's just simple communication. Thank God for Google Translate, 'cause it's so easy to, but I am learning. I am teaching myself Spanish, and because I believe that's part of my heritage. That's part of my culture. My mom speaks Spanish. My dad speaks Spanish. My grandmother speaks Spanish, and I always give them crap like, "Hey, how come you guys didn't teach
Way
me?"
to get yourself.
Like, why didn't you guys teach me? But it's just. All it is, man, is you just got to be yourself and learn how to communicate different ways.
Because we're all different at the end of the day, right?
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. What great insight. What do you say?
Do you want to slip in your Robert Frost quote real
I
quick
do.
before? Because
Let's hear it.
we're almost out of
Yeah,
time.
we're almost out of
Because
time. So, you guys are so awesome. My time just flies
Yeah.
by, right? Robert Frost's quote says, "I should be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." So, gentlemen, what's your road less traveled?
Well, I think the work we're doing with the Hispanic Chamber. I mean, we are doing things, I think, a lot differently than other chambers. We're the only chamber that has a business accelerator training program for small businesses, entrepreneurs. It's a 24/7 platform made available for free because we think it's important to touch as many entrepreneurs in our community as possible. When you look at our population of 700,000, if we can touch 10,000, we're going to make a difference in the small business ecosystem. So we're doing that differently. We are focused on driving the small business ecosystem here.
Nice.
And then when you look at, what we're doing my impetus of starting the Adelante Leadership Institute is we didn't have seats at boardroom tables. And I saw the other two programs, which are very different than how we deliver our program. We didn't have a lot of Latinos in those programs. And the facts are there. I can show those to anybody that question those. So I said, well, then versus standing on the sidelines and say, well, let's see if we can change these other programs. I said, we're going to start our program, and we're going to develop emerging Latina leaders and anybody else who wants to participate in the program for them to have the skill sets and the confidence to go out there and be engaged and be on these boards and commissions in our community. And when we look at our last two classes of fellows, of the 24 that have graduated, we have about 10 to 12 that are either on boards or board candidates right now.
Nice.
So I think we're making a difference because we know that chambers focus on business, that we want to give business resources. But I think there's another aspect of chambers that need to start to evolve. The old system of chambers of commerce that are just laser focused on business, I think is an antiquated model.
It is
Yeah.
antiquated.
You need to be community minded as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We try to help the community in ways that we think fit for us, because if we're helping the community, that indirectly is going to help business as well.
Absolutely.
And we're trying to make our community a better community,
Yeah.
and for the good of everybody. And I think that's what our goal and vision is. We want to be that preferred chamber of choice because of how we deliver our services and programs.
Right on. Lisa.
Diego, do you have something real quick?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that we're on a mission to build a business where everybody wins.
I love you continually say that. You can tell that's deeply
It's
ingrained.
deep. It's deep. So we're going to build
Yeah.
a business where everybody can wins. Mainly our community is going to be the one that wins in the end. So, and we're not just stopping with Colorado Springs. We're going to branch out to other cities, other states around the world. So I would say, yeah, that's my road less traveled.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
That's
$100
cool.
million company on
Yes.
the way is what I'm talking about.
that's how
All
you-
right. So in closing, you both need to answer our famous questions. So, as you know, our whole mission is to infuse hope and encouragement throughout the world.
Beautiful.
So, Joe, since you are our panel host, we're going to start with you. If you wouldn't mind looking at that camera and encouraging the world, and then let them know how to reach you.
Quickly.
Well, we want to be a model for diversity and including everybody into our chamber. Come to our first luncheon on April 22nd, because we're going to be starting the Free Hugs campaign with all of our events. And you can reach us by going to our website, cshispanicchamber.com, or shoot me an email at info@cshispanicchamber.com, and we'll reach out to you to help support your business.
Indeed. Diego.
Diego, same.
What was the question?
Encourage the world.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Hey, Diego Lujan here, owner of Alphalete Plumbing. I believe building a business where everybody wins is how we're going to bring change and encouragement to our communities. When our teammates are winning, that means they're winning at home. And when our teammates are also winning, that means the community's winning. So you can reach us at alphaleteplumbing.com, Diego Lujan on LinkedIn, or Diego_Lujan at AP on Instagram. So that is my mission, is to build an organization comparable to top tier sports teams and military operations, and ultimately becoming the best company in the United States and then the world.
Yeah.
Love that,
Mic
man.
drop.
Yeah. What a big, giant vision.
Yes.
We have such a hard time getting people to create compelling visions for
Yeah.
their business. You have.
Yep.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you for
incredible.
A lot of work.
And
It
you've
is a
been
lot.
consistent at it though,
Yeah.
every single year. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You
Appreciate it.
guys rock. Thank you.
Likewise,
for
thanks
being
for
on.
having
Thank you
us.
for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Diego Lujan, Alphalete, Joe Aldaz, who is president and CEO of the Colorado Springs Hispanic Chamber. We'll be back with show number 2
Yeah.
in a few moments.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged Show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So, whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy and rewarding. First, you get to be a guest on this show. This is a fantastic opportunity for brand recognition as you share your story with our engaged listeners.
And Frank and I are now offering Q&A mastermind monthly sessions. And these are not just informative experiences, but we actually help with your business on strategic insights and provide a supportive group setting.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we? And if you're looking to drive targeted lead generation, consider sponsoring our show. We offer multiple tiers and customizable options to fit your marketing needs perfectly.
We have had over 350 guests, and they have been able to brand themselves and share all the goodness that they are doing here in community.
And it's not just about numbers. Our approach opens up a space for vulnerability, helping our guests genuinely connect with audiences. This authentic interaction is a powerful catalyst for community and business growth. Take, for example, we have partners here at Be Encouraged, and since getting involved with our platform, they've seen a staggering 900% growth in just 7 months here in the Springs.
So if you're ready to make a significant impact, join us today at beencouraged.net.
And let's make the world a more hopeful and connected place, one story at a time.
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So, whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy and rewarding. First, you get to be a guest on this show. This is a fantastic opportunity for brand recognition as you share your story with our engaged listeners.
And Frank and I are now offering Q&A mastermind monthly sessions. And these are not just informative experiences, but we actually help with your business on strategic insights and provide a supportive group setting.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we? And if you're looking to drive targeted lead generation, consider sponsoring our show. We offer multiple tiers and customizable options to fit your marketing needs perfectly.
We have had over 350 guests, and they have been able to brand themselves and share all the goodness that they are doing here in community.
And it's not just about numbers. Our approach opens up a space for vulnerability, helping our guests genuinely connect with audiences. This authentic interaction is a powerful catalyst for community and business growth. Take, for example, we have partners here at Be Encouraged, and since getting involved with our platform, they've seen a staggering 900% growth in just 7 months here in the Springs.
So if you're ready to make a significant impact, join us today at beencouraged.net.
And let's make the world a more hopeful and connected place, one story at a time.
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy.
We're back, Lisa.
Yes, welcome back to the Be Encouraged show with Lisa and
Frank. Actually, the show is with Frank and Lisa. I want to make sure my name is Frank.
although a lot of people have said we should say Lisa Frank because of the Lisa Frank brand, but you know, that's just anyway, a branding thing.
But anyway, we're glad to have
Yes.
you. Yeah, you do such a great job.
So you,
So
sir.
way to rock this thing. So we're here this afternoon on the Be Encouraged show, and we have two incredible guests with us.
When are they coming?
In about
Right
now.
after. Oh, right after us. Exactly.
Well, but first we need to do our platinum sponsor bumper. We love our platinum sponsor. Thank you to Crescio, Mr. Joshua Aguirre in the house. Thank you for being our sponsor. When they offer pay what you can consultation with them, you can learn how to leverage AI agents to penetrate the noisy market, lower your overhead, and increase your sales. So visit them at Crescio.com to learn more and check out the flyer that we provided you later.
Indeed. This guy rocks. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Very
cool.
Yeah, we'll throw that in
tell.
for free. Right?
Yeah.
No, it's all this free, but we will throw that
He's
in.
been with us for 2 years already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw his
amazing.
magic. So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I had an opportunity to meet these travelers through, what's the guy that's here?
Alan?
Alan
Briggs.
Briggs,
yeah.
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 We met him the same day
Yep.
at an
Very good.
event in there, right?
No.
Oh.
We had a dinner
Oh, you met him
downtown
before that?
before.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm just not cool. I wasn't at
I
the
got to
dinner.
show up and it was
There you
Oh,
go.
that dinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kinship landing.
Kinship
Yes.
landing,
I
yeah.
heard about
Yeah,
that.
your bride was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Much
yeah.
better half.
So much fun. Yeah, man, you rock. I mean, you really do. I know people probably tell you this all the time, but you've created such great space. Let me introduce him, because
Yes.
we're having a man crush here going on. So,
Feeling so mutual.
So good.
It is so mutual. Yeah.
Dr. Travis Hearne, a Marine Corps Corps combat veteran and former intelligence officer. He is the founder and CEO of Titanium Consulting Group, a cybersecurity expert and an international best-selling author. A globally sought-after keynote speaker, he leads with faith, empowering organizations through his expertise in leadership, intelligence, and security, and also author of the new book, Through the Storm. Make sure you pick up a copy of that. Indeed, beside him is Josiah JJ Harling. Yes, indeed. Yeah, JJ, man, you're incredible. I was telling Lisa, I'm so excited to have you guys
really
on
was.
the show with me today, right? JJ's a seasoned leadership coach with 20 years of experience. He started when he was 7.
Yeah.
He is
My bald head begs to differ, Frank.
Still had a beard.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Beard was there the whole time.
Yeah, he is a co-founder and president of Compel Global and a leadership coach with Titanium Consulting Group. A sought-after speaker, author of Stride. He moving forward when you feel stuck. I know nobody can relate to that, right? He's also a podcast host. He integrates his deep faith into his coaching, guiding others towards growth and transformation.
So both of you have a podcast together?
We do.
We do. We have,
Oh, awesome. What's the name of that so our followers can follow?
It's called The Flop. And the basis of it, and you can correct me if when I mess this up.
No, you're good.
Is that,
I'm just gonna live out the flop in front of us.
Exactly.
Great.
No, so we bring on fantastic human beings, soon to be yourself, that talk about their embarrassing moments, their failures, and what they learn from them. Because we all have failures, flops, embarrassing moments, and there's no use in hiding them under the rug when we can bring them out into the open and people can learn from them.
Yes.
Because that's how we learn. We learn through failure, we learn through trials, and we learn through storms.
Yes.
And so that's what our podcast guests bring. It's just they talk about, and I don't know why how we have any guests. Frank, I don't know why you.
It's very awkward asking people to become a guest. Like, I'm sure you failed wildly. You should come on.
I'm sure that you're terrible at stuff. Just come on our show and talk about it.
It has just been a blast.
That's
you know,
hilarious, and I invited myself without knowing what it was.
You did. You made it easy. Lisa, thank
Sign
you.
this really quick.
Yeah, that's right. But
I definitely qualify.
I think the idea is for many of us who are either in leadership or even aspiring leaders, we look up to leaders who are up on a pedestal. And what we kind of inherently do is we put a distance gap where we say, they've got their act together and I don't. So really the subplot for us is to help leaders who are normally on the pedestal come off and just be approachable and be able to kind of share, here's how we turned our failures, flops, and embarrassing moments into teachable moments for personal growth. And it paves a path for listeners who want the same. So that's the goal of the podcast.
Yeah.
I need to follow.
I had one. I had so much fun on their podcast. It was like,
it was a blast.
we had a blast.
Did you share it on
Share what?
LinkedIn?
I did not. I did share it on LinkedIn.
Maybe.
You shared it on some social channels. I know
Oh,
that.
yeah.
All right. I missed it. I need to listen to it.
I think he's going to share it again after this.
Yeah.
It's great.
We had a lot of good feedback.
Shoot.
If anyone knows my flop, homegirl does.
That's
I don't
good.
need to share. We are
like it.
very,
We're like
very
fish
good friends.
in the community. We're everywhere, all day, every
Beautiful
day.
thing. Yeah.
We're all human.
That should be the T-shirt of the podcast.
I like it.
Fish.
Yes.
That's great.
I
Right?
make T-shirts.
That's
You're
great.
welcome.
Yeah, the flop.
Yeah.
Go check it out, YouTube and any of those other podcast channels as well, right?
Yep.
So, guys, Travis, you have a very interesting summation of story here. Obviously, our time at Frame doesn't allow for everything, but give us some of those high points of where you came from, man.
Man, so okay, high points. Let's try to stay out of the flops.
No,
we
use
won't.
some of the
No,
flops.
we're gonna use some of the flops
Flops
because
for
it's
detail.
mostly flops. I flopped my way here. So I was born and raised in Taos, New Mexico, which is a small
New
community.
Mexico.
I'm not New Mexico. Her husband's from New Mexico.
Oh, very cool. Oh, nice.
You probably don't know it. It's
Socorro,
like a little
yeah,
dot.
absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
He
Taos
went
is
to
small.
that university. He's a software engineer in the day and a dance
Very
instructor
cool.
at night.
That's a great
Yeah.
combination.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why I married him.
There you go. Software engineer,
It's the
dance
perfect
instructor.
blend.
My goodness.
Come on.
So I grew up there, and then went to college. I played baseball at New Mexico State, so I do know where Socorro is. It's on the way down to New Mexico State. So I played baseball there for a little while, and then forgot to go to school. I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player, so I was like, "Hey, I don't need
well, it
economics and
happens. Yeah.
statistics. I'm just going to be
Minor detail.
a 6-foot right-handed pitcher that there's none of them." So I thought that didn't happen. I didn't get drafted, and New Mexico State asked me politely to leave. So I got a little letter in the mail, and they're like, "Hey, you didn't go to school, so you can't stay here. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here."
Oh, wow.
So I then moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I joined the Marine Corps in 2006. And then, fast forward from 2006 to 2016, I was in Iraq in 2008 and 2009, Afghanistan in 2010 with 1st Light Armor Reconnaissance Battalion, leading Marines in some of the craziest places you can lead Marines.
Did you graduate from New Mexico State even though you didn't go to
No.
school?
No, they gave him the
They
boot.
But
gave
you
me
were a
the boot.
commissioned officer, right?
No, I was enlisted. I was a knuckle dragon enlisted guy, man, just like you.
Oh,
Wow.
knuckle drive.
My dad's a Marine as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
Air Force on knuckle drive, bro.
That's right.
Yeah. Marines.
Only if they go over the air conditioning a little bit. That's what they're driving on the vent.
What made you choose the Marines?
I was literally, honestly, this is the flop. My life was going downhill quick. I was
Yeah.
working in the restaurant industry. I was pretty on the verge of alcoholism. And I was like, I looked at my life and I was like, I have to change something. Like, I have to change something. Otherwise, I see the road. I can see it. So I literally was like, okay, I'm going to go walk into the Marine Corps recruiting office and see what they have to offer. And I walked in. 2 weeks later, I was gone.
Marine Corps, out of all the branches of
Oh, my
service, is what I
goodness.
tell my kids.
Yeah.
You will
Right.
not do that.
Yeah.
You will choose Air Force first.
Yep.
I just kind of guide them because I want them to have the best
That's right.
situation
Yeah.
out of the situation.
Yeah, and my mom told me, she was like, please just go see the other recruiters. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
sure, I'll do that.
And you
I did not. I did
Oh,
not.
so you're a rebel with a cause.
I was a rebel with a cause, and I ended up in the Marine Corps, and then I was gone 8 months later. I was in Iraq, and then came back, went to Afghanistan, came back. Then we moved here. I met my lovely wife before Iraq. So she snapped me into, so she's the reason I started going to church, following the Lord, and she really brought me to that life.
Yes.
And through that story, after she was with me through Iraq, she was with me through Afghanistan, and the Lord's grace.
Did she almost leave you ever?
No, not that she'll tell me. Not that she'll tell me. I don't think so. Not that she'll tell me.
I'll find out.
Yeah, she'll find out.
I gotta meet
Yeah,
her.
she'll find out. But we did. That's why we made the commitment for day one. Like, the D word's never. It's not on the table. Never. No matter what, we're gonna go through some stuff. It's not on the table.
Right.
And we still live that today. So she's been my rock through deployments, through different things. And after the Marine Corps, 2016, I left and I joined the intelligence community as a counterterrorism officer. So I was going back and forth from different countries doing.
That must have been hard.
It was.
What, were you a contractor?
No, I was a government civilian. So I worked for the
Civil
Defense
Service?
Yeah, so
No?
the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Okay.
So I did a lot of terrorism stuff. I was like, where are we gonna go with that? A lot
Good
of
money,
terrorism
but
stuff.
really hard.
It was hard. We were gone. I was gone a lot, and then I
Yeah.
switched from that to doing counter narcotics, counter cartel work.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of stuff along the southwest border, a lot of work with Mexican military police. So and then
You should write books.
I should.
Like fiction books with a little flavor of truth.
That would be cool.
You know what I mean? Like,
We'll check,
really
we'll check with the
adventure.
SSO, the security officers.
Well, no, they
and
don't
see.
have to know that.
That's true. They don't
It's
have to know.
fiction.
Yeah.
It's under fiction.
That's true. It'd be fiction. It's probably fiction. Let's cut that one.
That sounds like me.
Yeah. Then I started doing counter cybersecurity work. Finished up school. I actually took school seriously and finished up my doctorate, so finished that up. And then.
Did you do like straight through undergrad, grad work, then doctoral work, back to back to
Yeah, 'cause you were
back?
so young.
Yeah, I'm
I
42.
mean-
Yeah, so yeah. So we did. I finished up my undergrad between Iraq and Afghanistan, and then when we got here, we were stationed here for 5 years, and it was the Marine Corps looked at me. The general that was in charge is like, over the next 5 years, just relax. Like, you're non-deployable. Go to school. Do what you got to do. So I went through the master's program with the doctoral program and finished it off. Yeah, and we started a Titanium Consulting Group in 2018, and I was tangentially in and out of it for a long time. And so after the counter narcotic stuff, I switched over to counter cyber. So doing a lot of the cyber security stuff, leading teams there, and then kind of we launched Titanium Consulting Group 2018, and it's been awesome ever since.
2018.
You have kids?
kids, 3 amazing kids. They're 7, 9, and 11, all boys.
They still like you.
They still do.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
That's
And they're
awesome.
best friends with his kids, and it's
Oh,
right.
you
a
guys
whole
are
thing.
tight.
How did you two
Oh,
meet?
yeah. So my wife and I have kind of led a small group for 5 years, I
Yeah.
think. And these guys ended up becoming a part of it. And
What
we just
church?
hit it off. So it was actually multi-church when we started
Oh,
it.
okay.
Slowly but surely, we've all moved towards New Life East.
Oh, nice.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's where we're at now.
Cool.
What does multi-church mean?
Well, so
Different churches
yeah, it's a
together.
great question. It's a great, very deep question, actually, Frank. So we started this, and the idea was that we'd have a couple couples from numerous different local churches in our community, and be able to just learn the word together, grow in our discipleship together, and it's been so fun. With 5 years into this, yeah, very, very, very close with each other. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
both of you at New Life East?
we're both at New Life East now. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And JJ and I's stories could not be different. It's more different as far as growing
That
up,
is
but we could not be
absolutely
like
true.
closer to the same person.
That is very true. Yep, that's right.
Tell us
No,
a little bit
I-
about yours, JJ.
Yeah, so I actually come from a ministry background.
Oh.
So I was actually
And you
born.
still follow the Lord.
Believe it or not, some of us do. Some of us do. There's a lot of good reasons that people don't, and we can dive into that. No, I was actually born in Sudan, so I'm Sudanese. In the truest sense of the word, Mom and Dad Dad was pastoring a church in Sudan when I was born in 1984, and then we
Did you
moved.
call yourself Sudanese?
Only,
Did you have the nerve to call
only joking. I've got a Sudanese friend, and he says, "Yeah, we're brothers." So it's like, okay, if he's in on this, I'm good.
Yeah.
And so we came back to the States when I was really young, and Dad was pastoring churches all throughout the U.S. Some small, some really large, some very healthy, and some really unhealthy. I remember actually kind of the most unhealthy church season when I was actually in college. Dad was pastoring a church that kind of blew up around him, a really big church out in California. And I just remember wanting absolutely nothing to do with the church world, loved Jesus, but wanted nothing to do with ministry as a college student. And God slowly but surely, as only He can, kind of warmed my heart to serving. What He refers to the church as His bride. So serving the bride and helping his bride have her eyes on the nations. So that's actually part of the calling into starting Compel Global and to being in ministry for 20 years is helping church members have their eyes out. That's actually what makes a healthy church. So yeah.
Where you go to college?
So I actually
Where were
went to Houghton College in upstate New York. On the total
Niagara
other
Falls.
side of the country.
Yeah.
No way. Okay.
Heard of it?
So it's
I'm
a,
from Niagara Falls, so it was just right.
No.
it's a small Christian school, and we were living out there. And then the summer that I went to school, my parents moved to San Diego to the beach and to pastor this church. And I was like, "You've got to be
Get out
kidding
of the
me!"
house.
So
Let's get out of here.
yeah, I mean that was a bummer. But I would go
Is
out
that
there
where
on
they
all my
were
breaks.
from? Was New York?
I mean, we're from all over the place. But
Yeah.
they had pastored there for 11 years.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was
Yeah.
the longest stay anywhere. Yeah.
Are your parents still pastoring?
So actually, my dad does a number of different things. He's my co-founder with Compel Global.
Oh, is
So the
he?
two of us
Neat.
have always wanted to do ministry together. So we started our organization together,
So you guys are
which
close.
is a blast.
How
Very, very, very
special
close.
is
I
that?
love that.
Yeah. So
Wait, I have a question.
yeah, of
Pause
course.
there.
Yes.
How did you get so close to your father and as an adult still love him as much as, I mean, you sound like
It's a
a
great
little
question.
kid. You love your
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
did that come to
Unfortunately,
pass?
That is a deep question to unpack. But I remember in some of those very challenging church situations, Dad and I would go hiking together. And he would openly and transparently process everything that was happening with me. And he allowed me to have my own feelings about how much it pissed me off, how angry it made me. He allowed me to ask questions of God. God, this isn't right. You know, he allowed me to be vulnerable and transparent. And through that, we came out on the other side. But I look at a lot of, I mean, like you said, Frank, there's a lot of ministry kids who go through that. They never have the permission
Yes.
to be
Mine-
angry
mine
or to
didn't.
doubt or whatever else. And
Yeah, when
it's
I was
really hard.
pastoring, I did, and because of what I grew up in, we weren't allowed
Right.
that because of all the image control,
Right.
right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you're a pastor. Your
Oh, yeah.
kids have to be walking the straight and narrow.
Right. There's
As
a
soon
lot
as
of pressure on
As soon as they could jettison that, they did.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So 2 are
No.
serving the Lord today, and 1 still isn't.
It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough thing. The journey of being a pastor and being a pastor's kid is really, really hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and it shouldn't be. Yes, that's a human invention that creates that. It's going to be hard because you're
Right.
dealing with humans,
Of
right?
course. Yeah, for sure. Ministry's-
Yeah, but
ministry's
the
tough, man.
expectations are human made,
Yeah.
not biblically made.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that's the difference,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What has been something difficult you've had to deal with business this year, and how did you deal with it?
Wow, difficult
Great
with
question.
business this year?
Yeah.
That is a great question because it has been. I mean, I wrote a
It's
book
been a
about
year.
going through difficult things, so it's been quite a year. So
Through
for
the
me,
storm.
it was for me this year. In January could be its own year, but we'll go back like 365 days.
Yeah.
So it would be jumping into Titanium Consulting Group full time.
Mm-hmm.
It was that switch from like it was this W-2 work, and I was working for Cisco Systems, running a big business development team for cybersecurity, and life was good. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the jump to this thing full time.
How'd your wife feel about the job?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a choice because they did 7,000 layoffs, and I was one of those.
At least you had a plan B ready.
Plan B. I had a company
You
since
will
2018.
jump.
So it was kind of it was just
Ready, set,
God,
jump.
God moves in mysterious ways.
He does. So I was laid off, and it was just like I'd always toyed with the idea of I've had this company for years and years, and other people, and we've been kind of doing things on the side, and now it was just like it was the Lord being like, okay, jump, and so jumped into it. And it's just been this building process, and it was interesting the timing of the book. When the book came out, that was literally the last month that I was at Cisco. So it was the month of building. That's when I started to really like JJ and I started vision like, okay, dude, what are we doing here? How do we do this? How do we do this together? How do we maintain this level of integrity for the company, where we are leaning into each other, we're doing the right things, we're saying the hard things, we're able to lean on each other. So it was building this kind of culture and vision for what we wanted to do and who we wanted to work with, and then cold calling, reaching out, talking to people, and
Which
trying
is
to
not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. So that was
Definitely
true.
So
You know that well.
starting this thing and getting it up and running and getting that first client and then losing that second client and then getting another client. So it's just it's been the back and forth. It's been the roller coaster of starting your own company, and luckily we've got it's we're starting to get some momentum, and it's going well, and it's just like
Good.
that. But my personality is like, let's do this. Like I need a 6-month plan, and I need a year plan. I need all the finances to work out in those planned time frames. And like when it's like, no, you're gonna have to lean into what the Lord's got, like daily bread. You're gonna have to lean into this, and you're gonna have to trust. So it's just
What a novel idea. Huh?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. To not lean on and it's just like leaning into a different headspace and a different space. But it's been fantastic. I've been able to work with people that have been struggling and really going through rough times, and help them to understand that how to go through the storm. And it's putting frameworks that I've created and learned to help people to walk through some terrible stuff. So it's been really, really good. But that was definitely the punch to the stomach, that moment of like, hey, you have no more W-2. You're gonna have to do this on your own.
Scary.
Yeah. So that was definitely
Good for you.
And one of the things we talk about a lot in spiritual circles, you talk about how God illuminates our path, right? And I think, unfortunately, the image that we put in mind there is a flood lamp, right? A big floodlight where the whole path is illuminated, all the steps, all the plan is illuminated. But a much more accurate picture is a flashlight, right? Or even a lantern. And that's...
Peeing light.
Exactly, right? This is a journey of trust building, right? And of obediently taking the next step without clarity. I think that's one of the themes that really the both of us have navigated a lot in the last year of how do you move forward when you're not sure what the end result actually looks like.
Right?
Like, and how do you do that with courage and strength? But I think that ultimately is what brings the most glory to God in the first place.
Yes.
It is.
How do you do that when you feel stuck? You should write a book about it.
There you go. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it puzzles me at times that people of faith says, well, I have a hard time with blind faith. And I go, what other faith is there?
If there's no other faith.
There is
Yeah.
no other faith. Like,
Otherwise,
what?
it's just a plan. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't know what that is. Yeah.
No, I mean,
100%. That's right.
yeah, if you can see it, it ain't faith. Right? Yeah, yeah. So, Scribe, both of you
Yeah.
guys are writing stories
Yeah.
and books at the same time. Sound like similar things that you're writing, right? So, what would you want people, they pick up a copy of Scribe moving forward when you feel stuck? What would be the value proposition? What would be the outtake of reading your book that they can make practical in their lives?
Man, that's such a good question. I've met a lot of people who feel like God has designed them for something different than where they are right now. I certainly, not everybody comes from a perspective of faith, but I do. And there's one of my favorite verses is Ephesians 2:10. So it says, we are his handiwork. A better word is actually poetry, so unique work of art. We are his poetry, created in Christ Jesus for good works prepared in advance for us to do. Right? So there is a unique design on everybody's life for good works. And the idea with Stride is not just, hey, I'm stuck career-wise, I want to move forward. But it's really, I'm stuck with my purpose, identity, my vocation, my calling. That's bigger than just my career. How do I tangibly step into what God has designed me for? That's the takeaway. They come out of here and they say, wow, I've got some tangible next steps on how to move this ball forward. That's the hope.
So the audience is more believers, Christians. Okay. Yeah.
But I will say, like, your book, like, when JJ and I have had some conversations, like, the secular community, it is so easily translatable into the world. And when you break it down into what Stride is, it's just like, it's for every single human being in the world. Everybody gets stuck. So, like, when you get stuck, pick this book up and it's a step-by-step, like chapter-by-chapter guide on how to unstuck yourself.
Well, it's interesting because, the world all embraces the universe.
Right.
But if you throw God into anything, they
right,
all,
Totally.
like,
Totally.
it's a thing. I mean,
Which is so odd given he made the universe.
yes, he's God of the universe. I'm like, wait, they can't be that ignorant.
Right.
But the
It's so
devil is a
comfortable
liar, and he can put the wool over people's eyes, and he does that, like, because so many people are blinded by it. And I'm like, why don't they get that? I mean, it's in writing, Father God of the universe. I mean,
but even you take the God piece out for a moment, right? There's still this deeply ingrained sense of purpose that everybody carries. I don't care if you are following Jesus or following whatever. If you feel that craving for, I want my life to count. I want my life to matter. I want to step into a deep sense of purpose.
and you get to a point where no vice can help.
Totally.
Period.
Yeah. We know.
Yep.
And that's true.
I know personally, I know tons of people who, whether they're believers or non-believers,
That's right.
everyone hits that brick wall going, I can't numb it anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's that deep hunger within that is not being fed. And why is it not being fed?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get to speak at a Sanctuary Church on March 2nd.
Oh, very good.
And,
Eric's is a great friend of mine.
Dr. E's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, on John 14, which is 5 zillion sermons have been done out of John 14, but talking about those same things and then just creating space for what Christ said. Let not your heart be troubled. And believe also in the Father, believe in me, because I'm the direct representation of Him. Right? Yeah, so I'm so looking forward
That's gonna be
to
good.
bringing that
that's gonna be
message
great.
across that day. Man, I love you, brother.
I love you too, friend.
Man, I really do. You are just one awesome, incredible
Bro
human.
crush happening right
Same,
here
same,
live.
Same.
You know what I find oftentimes, though, ex-military people, when they get outside of the space, I'm an ex-military person myself, that they miss the relational value of business. Randy Ross wrote a book called Relationomics, which is one of my favorite books, and he, from a Christian's standpoint as well. The idea that relationships drive business success. How do you get outside? Because you're naturally kind of more of an introvert guy, a thinker, not in the mix of humanity, right?
Yeah.
A lot. How do you leverage a relational culture that we have here on the Front Range with what you were trying to do?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Like I'm probably an extreme introverted extrovert. That's how I would call it. That's how I would frame myself.
Okay.
I love being around people, but I'm around people for too long. I'm gonna need to go sit in a corner for a little bit, look at the wall, and watch the paint dry for a minute, just to refill myself.
Yep.
But I love connecting. And I was this concept. I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm writing the third book. It's called Radical Commitment: Never Quit on the Uphill. You're gonna love it. But that's
never
coming
quit
out
on
next.
the uphill.
Never quit on the uphill.
Got
but
me
we
with
hear
the title.
Oh yeah, there we go. Wait to see the cover. I got to figure that part out. But when I was thinking through this concept, I was like, we hear all these business people out there say, "Oh, 10x your business, 10x your business, 10x this, 10x that." That's the buzzword. And yeah, hey, if you like 10x your business, that'd be great. But for me, if you want to 10x your business, you're going to need to at least 20x your relationships. That's how.
Say it.
That is the key. If there is a very, very simple equation, if you want to do better in business, is you need to network, and you need to. And networking is a weird term because it implies a transactional relationship. But when you're engaging with people and building community, if you can 20x your relationships and your community, that is going to help you build your business. And a lot of people get stuck behind a screen, or they get stuck behind some kind of office desk or something. They don't want to reach out and talk to people. And coming from, I was a human intelligence guy in the Marine Corps. I love talking to people. I may be trying to get information out of them. It may have been inverted, but anyway, no, they weren't inverted. But
It's all good.
it's when we talk about how we're going to connect and how the future of business is going to be human relationship. It's not emails. It's not messaging apps. It's not that. It's not that. So when I say, hey man, okay, I'm building a business. I'm building a business. Step number one is connecting with as many people as possible. And that's not just, we talk about the Front Range. That's not like JJ and I have had this conversation a couple times. It's like, okay, how many followers can you get on this, that, or the other? That's part of it, but that's not like, it can be, but like when you can engage your local community and be involved in the people that are around you, whether it's Chamber of Commerce, whether it's having dinner at Kinship Landing, whether it's coming here, and like whether it's just engaging and building connection with people that are around you. That's what it's all about. That's if you are going to 10x your business or whatever X your business, you need to double that in your relationships in order to succeed.
Well, because the generation now, everyone does texting or email or whatever. It's very impersonal. Like this morning, I had to step off of a board, and I chose to make a phone call. He thanked me so much for that.
Because she's old.
Not because I'm old, but he did. It was like, because everyone else just sends an email and bounces. And that's so cold. But I was like, how can I do this organically? Because I knew he's not in this area, so I had to do a phone call. But it's taking that extra step to actually communicate in person and holding authentic conversations is a big deal.
And the technology nowadays is to where you like, okay, I can't, if I'm trying to communicate with somebody who's out of state and hey, let's have a meeting. It's not like even kind of the ladder of where I like to communicate is like if I cannot meet in person, if like in person's number one, if I can go shake a hand, if I can buy a lunch, if I can do whatever, that's what I'm going to choose to do. Two, if I can't do that, let's look at each other, at least face to face. Let's jump on a phone. Let's jump on a video call.
A video call.
Yeah, there's technology out there that allows us to just like to do that instantaneously. And there's just psychologically, I'm going to put my nerd hat on for a minute. Psychologically, there's a difference in the brain whether you're talking, if you can see somebody's mouth moving, if you can see their face, or you can see the response to what you're saying. There is a connection that is, I'm not sure what the measurement is, but it's so much, it's significantly more. You connect significantly more with a person just by seeing their face.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. My daughter, she's 14. She's a cheerleader, and they're all very close. She has a circle of friends. The latest thing that they're doing now is on Snapchat. They literally go home And then I'm like, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's Zoe. And Zoe's like, I just got home. I'm eating pizza. It's so good. My dad said I could eat before dinner. And then she does a video back, and you have to video right back. Like, it's a whole thing. So they're all holding this whole conversation via video chat in the moment now. It's
Oh my goodness! Well,
hilarious.
it's funny because like there's this
hilarious.
Marco Polo. My wife uses Marco Polo, so it's the same kind of thing. It's just video messaging.
Yeah.
right.
But the funny thing is, like, you can set it on like 2 times fat. Like you can set it
You
to
can speed it up.
speed it up like
Oh,
twice
yeah.
as much. So I'll be laying in bed at night, and she'll be going through a Marco Polo, and all of a sudden I'll just hear her friends talking at warp speed. And it's a great way to communicate. You can see someone's face, and you got to get through it quickly.
That's amazing. Oh, it's so funny.
That is so funny.
Yeah, so the human connection piece, yeah, Frank, and it's just like that's what you need to do if you want to grow your business. You cannot just sit behind a computer screen and email and text and like especially like in the community that we have here in the Front Range in Colorado Springs, man. It's just like people are wanting to connect. They want to come on your show and they want to talk about this and they want to be able to bring like work together. And so it's just it's a huge piece.
So one thing about the connection, because we're both master connectors in the city and we love it and we totally geek out on it, is you need to know. They need to know what you do as well. A lot. You've got the opposite people who are all relational, and they forget to mention what they are offering in business. And someone's like, "Oh wait, what do they do again?" After they've been friends with them for 2 years.
Wow.
That really speaks volumes too to the business people. Not only do you need to create relationships, but you also need to lead with business sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Years ago, I was working in an organization. I was meeting with a potential partner, and we met, I think, 3 times. And I walked into each of these meetings thinking, wow, our relationship is so great. The 3rd time, he sat down and he said, JJ, this is great. I enjoy the friendship, but like, are we doing anything here? And I realized I've never I've never spoken vision to him, never invited him to do anything further.
Wow.
And I completely missed my opportunity because he formed a partnership with a different organization.
Oh goodness.
And it was like, wow, that was eye-opening because I put so much value in the relationship that I completely missed the value of what I actually bring to the table and what our organization brought to the table.
The opposite side of that, and that's so true because I missed opportunities just like you have, building relationships. But just like in my coaching business, I won't coach someone that won't be transparent and vulnerable.
That's
I
right.
just won't, because if you're hiding in that space, you're hiding in other places. So uncovering what you're becoming in design is harder to do in the space of hiding.
That's right.
It is so hard. So I want to ask you this, JJ, because I love JJ.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great name.
It's a great name.
It's kind of easy to remember.
The letter's so nice you have to say it twice.
Keep it easy around here. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, JJ Robert Frost's quote, and I know you know it. It says that I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And this has made all the difference. What has been your road less traveled?
You didn't prep me for that, man.
We don't have anyone.
Come on now. Oh, that's such a good question. What is my road less traveled? I would say running a ministry, so running a nonprofit, and particularly a mission organization, is a tricky thing. And there's this credibility gap that sometimes is held, where if you haven't lived overseas for 20 years, then you're not qualified to lead in this space. And I've really had to push back on that, because that has not been the path that my wife and I have felt called to.
Yes.
I have felt specifically called to the work of mobilization, which means helping people get from point A to point B. And that is not a path that is picked very often. That role of coach or advisor or guide in the ministry space in particular. There's a lot of professional coaching, sectors, but in the ministry side, there's not a lot. And that for me really was the kind of the narrow path, and having to figure out, no, this isn't a I don't want to go and suffer. God has designed me in that role as guide. And if I do anything other than that, I'm really missing my unique calling on my life.
Right
There you go.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add
Yeah.
one more thing: the road less traveled. Man, you don't run into many people nowadays who are as intentional as you are. As intentional to check in on people, as intentional to walk with people through difficult things, to be able to be bold enough to be able to step into some hard stuff with people, and not be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
That is a road that not a lot of people want to go down, and it's one that you do really, really well with whether it's professionally, personally, or
Appreciate
otherwise.
that, bud.
Yeah.
I have
It's-
a question for you,
yeah.
JJ.
Oh, for sure.
How do you guide conversations with people who are going through a hard thing, like maybe just being told they have cancer or a death in the family or something like that? How do you respond? I held this conversation with some girlfriends the other day, and we were all having difficulty with that. What do you say? How do you, you know how words, it's hard to put words in, and sometimes it's easier if you're just there and sit with them and quiet. But what if you're just on social media with friends only, or what's your recommendation to tap into being kind and reaching out and showing that you love them and you're there for them?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think, my coach in this has been my bride. Her name is Shayna. She's tremendous. But one of the things that she does is just give space for that sadness, right? We had a friend who shared some heavy news recently, and she said, "Hey, we're sitting in this with you," and I loved that verbiage.
That's good.
We're sitting in this with you. It's like, man, I want to keep that. So that's where I learn is from watching her.
Yeah.
I think there's another piece of it, just something that I'm always wrestling with in the back of my mind is what's being developed through this, right? So oftentimes we think about, productivity. What are we putting out and what are we accomplishing? But I think oftentimes what's the greater priority is what are we becoming, right? And our circumstances, including suffering, shape who we become.
Absolutely.
What's that?
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think that's such a big priority, and in that there's hope. So even in the midst of suffering, just beginning to think, hey, what's shaping in me that's good through this suffering? There's hope.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't be better said, bro.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
We need more than an hour with you guys.
we need all day. Let's do it all day.
Take two.
We can do this all day.
This is so good. Yeah.
So, Titanium Consulting Group. First of all, tell us why you named it that. I know that's an alloy that's very difficult to break through, titanium. And secondly, who are the people of your reach? Who do you want knocking on the door at Titanium?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
Great question.
titanium, you're right. And once it's solid, there's no breaking titanium. It's one of the hardest metals ever. But when it's in its malleable form, you can shape it into whatever you want. And as leaders, we need to be that titanium, that malleable titanium, that once we solidify and we learn and we become healthy, once it solidifies, that's becomes a part of you. It becomes unbreakable. So that's what we want to instill in leaders is this, like, man, we can mold this, we can change this, and we can make this into something that's unbreakable. So that's why titanium. And the people that I won't knocking on my door are people running that are starting their own businesses, entrepreneurs, $1 billion companies. We worked with $1 billion companies before, and anywhere in between. Leaders, I think it's a problem that leaders are facing now. It's just they're burnt out, they're tired. They've become they can't keep up with this technologically advanced world that we're all living in.
Yes.
So what we want is to help them to get organized, to help them take a step back, take a breath. How are you as a leader? And we have a coaching aspect of it, and we walk alongside the executives of startups, the owner, the business owners, whoever that is, and be like, okay, holistically healthy leadership. That's how are you mentally, how are you emotionally, how are you spiritually, how are you physically, and then how is your business? So those are the 5 pillars of a holistically healthy leader. So we walk with those people to say, where are you in all these things, and where do you want to be?
Yeah.
And let's get you there. So there's that. And then we work on the business side of the house and say, okay, here's your business. Where do you want to go? What are your goals? And what are the daily habits that are going to get you to your goals? You have a 6-month goal of scaling and doing whatever you want to do. Okay, what are you going to do tomorrow to be able to get that done? Is your organization set up for you to be successful in that space where you want to be? I had a conversation with General David Petraeus, which was awesome, a couple months ago, and he said, Travis, people have told me my entire career that I've been lucky. I've been lucky to get this position. I've been lucky to be hired at this. And he said, what I tell people when they say that I've been lucky is luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparation.
That's it.
And he wasn't the first to say
No,
that.
and I was going to say, he wasn't the first to say that, but he lives that out, and it's so true. And I put that into, and when we start working with leaders that are running big organizations that are trying to change, or they're trying to work through organizational change, or like my doctorate's in organizational change, so I take a bunch of nerdy leadership theory and organizational change theory, and we put it to practice. Like, how are you preparing your business to be lucky? And on the other hand, how are you preparing your business to be unlucky? Are you going to be able to go through that storm, and are you going to be able to withstand it and learn from it and come out on the other side better and wiser and healthier than when you went in? Yeah.
How did you, Petraeus is and for those of you that don't know, maybe you've been living in some rock or something, but David Petraeus, 4-star general, he led his branch in the military and was very politically involved.
Was a director of the CIA for a long time.
Exactly. How'd you meet him?
And you talk about connecting.
Yeah.
This
I
is
noticed
like
he wrote in your book.
Serendipity.
Yeah, so he endorsed he endorsed the book. And talk about a man who's been through storms.
One second before you go there. Did you? Oh, you did.
Oh,
okay.
of course.
Okay.
Right on the cover. It's right up.
You should have made it bigger.
I know. Just change the title, put the title big case, put General Chase's thing right there.
Appreciate
But
that.
no, he's a man who's been through storms in his life,
Yeah.
and a lot of them were a lot of negative things. And and when I think of people who have gone through a lot of stuff, our careers were kind of parallel. Like, I was in Iraq when he was in charge of Iraq. I was in Afghanistan when he was in charge of Afghanistan. I was in the intelligence community when he was in charge of the intelligence community. So we have parallel careers at very different leadership levels.
Oh, sure.
And so he was like on the cover of a magazine that I was in. And
What a trip.
it was great. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to him on LinkedIn.
Why not?
So, why not? That's one thing that I don't care about. Like, I'll reach out to anybody anytime.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll be like, whatever. What's it worth? I already don't know you.
Yeah. That's so well put.
I already don't know you, so I might as well. What am I going to not know you anymore? But anyway, so I reached out and I said, hey, sir, I would love to have you on my podcast. So I had him on my podcast. I was like, and I would just, I led off with, hey, I was in the cover or in the magazine that you were in the cover on. So that opened a door a little bit, but it was just like a conversation. And then he wrote back, which I was shocked that he wrote back.
Yeah.
And then he agreed to be. It was him. I was, oh my goodness. So when here's a story. So my podcast is called Through the Storm. I have one that I just do by myself, which is part of the book. I had him on the podcast, and I was expecting, as soon as I log on, some guy dressed in a clown costume or somebody that was not General Petraeus to pop up. But I'm sitting there on Zoom twiddling my thumbs like 15 minutes early, like a good Marine, and then he pops up, and I was like, oh, it's really him. Now I have to do this.
That's so cool.
So he showed up, and he's just been a great mentor, and we've talked back and forth, and he's given me advice, and it's just he's a brilliant man who's going through a lot of things, and he's making time for people like me. So
That's
it was just reaching
incredible.
out though. So
Thank
that's
you for sharing that,
Yeah,
because that
absolutely.
encourages me to be more bold on social.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty bold on social, but even more so.
Yeah. I used to tell when years and years ago, my wife she was interviewing for a job when we were in San Diego, and she was nervous about it. And Tracy, my wife's Tracy, she's amazing. She's an amazing human being, doing amazing things. Brilliant. When she was interviewing for this job right after she got out of grad school, I was like, babe, you already don't have the job.
Yeah.
Just what are you like? What are you worried about? You already don't got the job. And she was like, huh. Just go for it.
Good counsel.
Just apply. Just do the
great
thing.
counsel.
Like,
Play with
you
it.
already don't got it. Just go for it. So that's my.
I love that.
Already don't have to. I love it.
But what is to work themselves out?
Yeah.
Like just go for it.
Yeah, that's funny how we get so intimidated by humans.
I know.
all the what ifs, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I spent the majority of my life not feeling like I belonged in the rooms
Yeah.
because of my upbringing and background and etc. Yeah, I fear no human. None.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I've been
Because-
mailing my book off
much
to
freedom.
whoever I can get their mailing address to and just see what they say.
That's awesome.
Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah, you only need to win one time.
Exactly.
Come on.
You know, I mean, it can change the whole face.
Statistical law of probabilities, somebody will probably do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, so are we trying to get the message of hope and encouragement out? Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's frustrating because people push back from that message.
Yeah.
You're like, the way the world is, you're
Yeah.
pushing back.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a belief. They don't believe that you can create space for people to love one another.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to produce hope
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Just over a cup of coffee, something simple, or a vodcast like this.
There you go.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, it's time. We are winding down.
Yeah.
You know, can't we do this show
Went
all
too
the way
fast.
to the top
You
of the
want to
hour?
do that?
Yeah,
Okay, you're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're calling
We'll
it.
call it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can make the executive
Yeah.
decision.
That's
right.
You
It's
guys
kinda
do run
like
this.
your
You
show.
run this. You
My
got
show,
it.
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
Yeah, so you
good.
did, right?
Yeah,
You
she's
still awake?
She's like,
Yeah.
Second.
She got two little
ones.
babies.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah.
know, remember those days?
I know that
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, she was good enough to, and she is, to
Yeah.
come in and,
KO Photography, Miss
Yeah,
Carrie Ann,
there
the
we go.
Queen.
yeah. Yeah, this community needs to know about what you guys are doing. There's some real dearth of health in the space that you're in, my friend. Not just our community, but nationwide, in the church community and the community of believers and etc. What are you seeing overall in that community now as God is really leading your heart to try to penetrate and make a difference?
Several things, but maybe the thing that comes to mind the most, and this speaks to what we're doing with Titanium, right? Is, you know, in churches, oftentimes we think about people who are in pastoral ministry, leadership community of the church, and that's great. I believe wholeheartedly in pastors, and we pour into pastors. But what gets me though is the congregation members, right? Because they're sitting in the pews or in the chair on Sunday morning. Right? What does it look like for that level of integration where their journey as a Jesus follower, their journey of following God must impact their 9 to 5?
Yes.
If it doesn't, we got a problem.
Yes.
Right? And so that, I think, is really where our hearts are at. And some of the stuff with Titanium, certainly not all of the leaders we're pouring into are people of faith, but the ones that are, man, what does it look like to live from those values in your 9 to 5? Your business should be thriving, right? Your people should feel loved and valued. It should infect your leadership. And that really is kind of the common space and the bridge between the two of us. I remember it was a John Maxwell event that we were at.
I was just going to talk about that.
It was so cool. But he
We
said,
were there.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me, and I'm sure I'm going to get the quote wrong, but
Yes.
he said, if you see people as broken, you're going to try to fix them. But if you see them as valuable, you're going to try to serve them.
Yes.
And when you look at leaders, and particularly Jesus followers in the marketplace, we should be championing, wow, that's a hard word to say. We should be the champions of that cause, of valuing the people that work on our team, right? Our leadership should empower the people that we're leading.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I that's kind of an indirect answer to your question, but it's the best answer I can think of, because it's not just about your pastoral staff, it's about the people who are in the church. That's the church.
Yeah. I don't know how we got that mixed up, because the word doesn't really make that much of a distinction.
Right.
Only we do.
Absolutely.
Right? Exactly.
Absolutely. There was a pastor I was talking to one time, and somebody came up to him on a Sunday morning and said, "Pastor, how's the ministry?" And he was like, "I don't know, you tell me." Because, right, Scripture talks about how all of us are doing the work of the ministry, and a pastor's job is to equip the saints for the work of the ministry.
Right.
Right? That's a very different disclaimer. That means the
Yes.
church
And
body
then we
or
would
the
even have to
torchbearers.
explain that is a sad
It's a crazy
footnote
thing,
on the
dude.
church, right?
It's crazy.
It really is.
It's almost like
Yes.
it's misconstrued that people come to church like through a drive-through
Right.
just to get their meal and then
Right.
leave, and they're
Regular
done.
school.
Totally.
Yeah,
Right?
Totally.
yeah. Yeah, I would. Anyone ever asked me that, I say, him saying, "I don't know." You
Yeah.
tell me, but
Yeah.
but I can ask you, how am I doing? Is equipping you for the
There you
ministry?
go. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, Gigi touched on something like important. So your organization sends missionaries out into the world. What Titanium does is we kind of see the secular world as the ministry field as
Yes.
well. Where
Mine too.
and I think that's where for years I tried to break into being
Yeah.
a professional ministry person,
Right.
and I never professional religious person. It never happened. God wasn't where God had me.
Yeah.
God was very
I
clear.
can't
Like
even see you too.
I can't either.
We had some great
I knew what he
conversations
was
about that in those early days.
No, we
you
did.
know?
We did, and
It was awesome.
Yeah, it just never happened.
great.
It was just like, well, it was very clear. Like, no, you belong in the secular community, the American business community.
Yeah.
You are called to that.
That's where Titanium fits, and that's why when we talked earlier about the holistically healthy leader and that spiritual aspect of it, and that's one that a lot of leaders are really they're hesitant to dive into that one. They'll talk all day about their mental health, their emotional health, their physical health, and their business health. But when we talk about spirituality, that's one. And I think Maxwell also said he's like that's that sixth thing that I only tell leaders
That
like
he doesn't
right.
tell
6
them.
months.
Exactly.
He's like, you don't want to know.
You don't wanna know.
And they're like,
So
but I
good.
do
It's
want to
so
know that.
good.
But you said, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
You know,
So, and that's
yeah.
kind of the way. That's the DNA. That's why we bring the
it is.
people around Titanium that we do, is because that's the DNA. That's the core of it, and we want to make sure that our values still stay where Jesus wants us to be, and that's in the community, helping people to, like you were saying, like thrive and to treat their people well.
Yeah.
To if you like, I learned in the Marine Corps, if you treat your Marines right, they'll treat you right, and then you'll accomplish the mission.
Exactly.
The same way in business.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Same way in life.
same way in
It's
life.
just life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way in marriage, same way in friendship, same way in
Yeah,
everything.
that's true. I have a question.
Yeah.
So I am co-hosting the only women's resilient fertility support group in the city, and I only started it because I'm a chief resilience officer, and she is a certified fertility dietitian. And when we were talking over coffee, I realized, oh my gosh, there's not one in the city. I have reached out to church emails that I could find.
Yeah.
Crickets, which astounds me because they're the ones that have the ear for the people going through it. And the thing is that no one talks about fertility issues. No one is walking through with the couples.
Right.
They might be, but it's not spoken of over the pulpit. No one is very open about it. What advice would you have for me to get the word out?
Well, first of all, you guys have connections, so get the word out for her.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that.
It's the women, and it's
that's
specifically
good.
for women on purpose.
Right.
Because there's a lot of blame,
Right.
shame, all the things. And we are going to have quarterly events for the couples, so we all get
Yeah.
to know each other. But it's just a huge give back that I know is an untapped need in the city.
Yeah.
So any wisdom
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I kind of just go back to what we talked about earlier. They're already not coming.
Yes.
So you might as well tell them.
Exactly.
You might as well make it loud and proud, and this is what you do. And for me, that's kind of bold, but yeah, I have a mindset of like, hey, I'm gonna talk about it.
Yep.
It may be people may shy away from it, but they may shy away from it at first, but
Yeah.
then 5 minutes later they're gonna pull you in the back room and be like, yeah, I would love to be a part of this. So that's those kind of conversations can happen like that. That's why I just say be bold and throw that out there, because I think all of us, I don't think there's there's probably somebody, but a lot of us, most of us have been touched by infertility before,
Right.
and it's been an issue in someone's life.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
my advice, just go for it, blast it out there, and however we can help, just let me know.
Okay.
Don't
my
become
best
weary
thing-
and well doing.
Yeah. My best advice is just I've got some connections for you. We'll talk after this.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. Done and
There you
done.
go.
Yeah. You know, Gary Thomas told us in his book Sacred Marriage, because marriage is, how long you been married?
16 years.
14 years.
14
I
years.
win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I win.
You win.
Exactly.
Marriage is hard, and if someone tells you differently, they're either lying or they don't talk to one another, right? And marriage is difficult, right? And one of the greatest things that I've ever heard in this book, he says, "What if God did not intend marriage to make you happy, but He intended marriage to make you holy?
That's right.
Because nothing makes you deal with the crap in your heart like being married to another human." Right?
So true.
So He's much more engaged in our holiness than He is our happiness. And guess what? When holiness is a piece, you be happy just by default. Right?
Pretty sure we were talking about this exact thing while we were working out this
Yeah,
morning.
we
So,
were.
oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah. It's the exact thing.
Tell us more.
I mean, I think I love that phrase from that book because it is so spot on, and it's even a little bit of what I was talking about before, right? When you go through hard things, and marriage surfaces those hard things in communion with your other half, right? But when you go through hard things, I want the first question we ask is, what is shaping inside of me, right? Because we were even talking about this at our small group the other day. That's how the fruit of the Spirit are shaped inside of you.
That's right.
Right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, right? All of these are good fruits that happen in here, but the process of getting them is conflict and it's challenge, right? Absolutely. But reframing that stuff to say, thank you to both God and my spouse for this gift that is shaping something inside of me that's bringing me to a deeper place of holiness is huge.
And what we were talking about this morning is like it's two kind of things. Like one, we're so glad that the Lord made us and our wives so different, and we were like, maybe that's part of the design. That there's a balance between these two human beings that the Lord put together, that we don't want the same things. There's going to be conflict in those things, but it's a way to balance out. Because if you, like we were talking about, if you were all on this side, if you wanted to go out on dates every single night, you'd be broke.
Very true.
If you wanted to stay home with if you wanted to stay home with the kids and just be there every single night, you would be disconnected. So the Lord puts us in, and He does it so intentionally too. It's just so fun how intentional it is if you recognize it. So when you can recognize that as a positive and as something that is refining your marriage into something where, we were talking about this too, where for us 10, 15 years from now, we can look at each other and still know one another. And still like hanging out with each other.
Exactly.
And it becomes a point of like, okay, we know this dance, we live this dance, and we're going to continue to live this dance because it's going to change 15 years from now. We're going to have different things
Empty
that we're going to
nesting.
be.
You're not going to have kids in the way anymore. And you're going to look at the person and go, who are you again?
Exactly. And we said that this morning, but we don't want that. Like we need to understand that dance, that we are different people. We're going to have conflict. But we made it. There's a commitment there that is a holy commitment.
100%.
And no D word.
No D word.
Yeah. That's what we say. We never said that word in our marriage. Never. Yeah. Thank you. You know what? We have to end that on an encouraging space, and even Doug, I gotta be in Castle Rock at 1. So
You're the one that did it, bud.
let us finish this, Lisa.
Good deal.
Right?
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Before we wrap up.
Travis,
Yes.
since you're our panel host, I would start with you. I want you to look into that camera, and I want you to encourage the world, and then how can they reach you?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so y'all, you're gonna be. This is gonna start as discouraging, but it will end encouraging.
I like it. That's good.
Throughout life, there's really 3 phases of life that we're gonna go through. We're either gonna be going into a storm, we are gonna be in a storm, or be coming out of a storm. Those are the 3 phases of life. If you can go into the storm, be in the storm, and come out of the storm in a way that is going to promote power and strength and kindness and health for you and the people around you, when you come out on the other side of that storm, when you're coming out of the storm phase, you are going to find so much growth, so much health, so much laughter, so much joy, and you are going to be better prepared for the next storm because, again, not as encouraging, but the life storms will come. There's another one coming. And if you prepare for them well, storms can be fantastic things.
Absolutely.
So you can find me, drthearne.com. There's the book, Through the Storm, The Path to Becoming a Resilient Leader. On LinkedIn, it's Travis Hearne. I should be the only one there. You'll see this face.
Yeah.
Mom always said I had a face for radio, but just overlooked that. And we'll figure it out. But yeah, on social media, in Instagram, LinkedIn, I do most of my work. But Dr. T. Hearne, reach out there and connect with me.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Same
All right.
thing.
Looking in the camera, huh? Ephesians 2:10. For you are his handiwork, created for good works, prepared in advance for you to do. And regardless of the faith perspective that you come into this world from, you were designed on purpose, for a purpose, to bring hope, joy, and encouragement in the world. I want to help you find your stride. Goes along with my book. Pick it up.
How do they reach you?
Yeah, you can reach me on any social media as Jay Harling, or check out Compel Global, compelglobal.org.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
you.
for being
Thank you
with
guys
us
for having us.
today.
Real pleasure.
It's
Before we
fantastic.
wrap up, we want to highlight a couple of our sponsors once more. You want to do that?
Sure.
Do that.
So Westco Insurance, Karen Butcher loves helping people save and get the best service ever. Contact her through our website at beencouraged.net. And Planic Duct, Mr. Brandon Kirk and his team offer astronomical air duct cleaning with the most powerful vacuum trucks in Colorado. Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Indeed. And more people are seeing the benefits of sponsorship with us. Visit us at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business out to our growing audience. Our platinum sponsor has seen an aggressive 900% growth in their business in just 7 months. Like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn to join us on our journey to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement. And remember, if you want to join us internationally, go to our website, select International via Instagram to join us from anywhere in the world. We are the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa, determined to infuse hope and encouragement into our world through organic conversations like with these two incredible gentlemen today. Happy Monday, everyone. Remember, you are amazing, you're incredible because you are. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So thank you for being with us. We'll see you next month.